Senior advocates of Nigeria up in our midst here this morning. First, I'll start. Let me also of youth and social development to lead the Ministry of Information and Strategy for the last part of the introduction, because I have Director Mrs. Oladapo. She's also here with us, and who has brought a new touch to information management. Invite the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Mr. Abdulatif Aderebi Biroba, to please give his introductory remarks before formally inviting the Permanent Secretary, Office of Youth and Social Development, who will take the first shot of addressing us. You are invited, sir.
We do not take youth for granted. Anything that will help the development of the youth is always seen as a priority program. And that is why Ministry of Youth, Sport and Social Development has been very busy in the last 1 year. Indeed, the ministry will have a lot to report today, because all of us know that it has been very busy. But before then, let me just use this opportunity to announce that still in the way to recognize the youth, Lagos State Government has put off the environmental sanitation program on tomorrow in the interest of our youth. We understand tomorrow our children are going to write the National Common Entrance exam, and so we will not want them to be disturbed. We will not want them to be inconvenienced. So we are putting it off so that everybody will have to take care of this environment. Just without the restriction, we will not restrict movement. But we expect that even at that, all of us will use the opportunity to clean our environment. It is not an opportunity for us to go and organize, football competition on the street, because there will be movement, and everybody that is even going to take part in that, is it street soccer now or road soccer, will have to take care of their environment. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, from you to all Nigerians, all Lagosians, the environmental sanitation of tomorrow is put on in the interest of our youth. It is in the same way that I would say that Mr. Henry Oshu, who is the Commissioner for Youth, Sport and Social Development, is an understanding that would develop our youth the more. In Lagos State, it has always been that we will develop the youth, we will tap their talents, we will play on whatever God's gift they have, but we will not cheat to do that. We will not promote any way to get to a stadium through cheating. Is it age cheating? Is it cheating in any way? Is it by borrowing people to just go and represent because we want to be first or want to be second? All that is false achievement, and that we will not improve in or promote in Lagos State. That's why wherever we are, whoever we have seen and identified have always done better in Nigeria. We are proud of that, to make sure that whatever you see from us is the right talent that anybody has. So it is in spirit of that I'd like to start by inviting the person that is going to lead this first shop, the Permanent Secretary, Youth and Sport and Social Development, my own brother, Dr. Adeshegun Oshimeka, as he takes us through what has been happening in the past 1 year.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Social Development in the last 1 year This forum will help not only to inform members of the public about government programs and policies, but also enable us to get feedback on the impact of such policies and programs. The ministry has the responsibility to create social harmony, build peace, engender competition through sports, and direct youth energy towards social development. In July 2009, by His Excellency's executive order, the Ministry for Administrative Convenience was restructured into two offices: the Office of Sports and the Office of Youth and Social Development. As had been told earlier, the Honorable Commissioner, Mr. Wahid Eniton-Shodi, is the Commissioner and is unavoidably absent. The Office of Youth and Social Development was headed by another Eniton, Dolapo Badru, Doctor, who resigned his appointment to contest and has won the election to the Federal House of Representatives in the Lagos Island Constituency 1. The offices have the underlisted parastatals and agencies working with them. In the Office of Sports, we have the Lagos State Sports Council, Lagos State Sports Endowment Fund, Grassroots Sports Development Office. And in the Office of Youth and Social Development, we have the Office of Disability Affairs. Concerning the Office of Sports, that will be taken up by the Permanent Secretary, Office of Sport. And for the Office of Youth and Social Development, I, as the Permanent Secretary, will take that on. In the Office of Youth and Social Development, our vision, I hope somebody is on the, is to be and remain the model youth and social development agency in Nigeria and beyond. And you can see we are trying to achieve this. And our mission is to create an enabling environment that promotes youth and social development services, that gives succor to the vulnerable, and is driven by highly committed and motivated personnel. Now, what do we do? I tell you, number one, youth development services, children, correctional and elderly care services, adoption and fostering services, medical social services, school social services, human and community integration services, and rehabilitation services. So we start with youth development services. Youth development is a continuous process of empowering youths to engender in them the common objectives of nation building through well-designed programs, seminars, conferences, training, and workshops. Also, engaging and empowering the teeming population of youth through entrepreneurial programs. Our youth development services are targeted towards promoting social change and reducing social vices such as fraud, sexual violence and harassment, unemployment, illicit drug use, armed robbery, cultism, amongst others, through character reforming programs. Also discovering, nurturing, and grooming innate talents and potentials of the youth to make them useful to themselves and the nation as a whole. In the year we are considering, 1,132 youths benefited from various vocational training programs, such as youth shoemaking, tailoring, and so on and so forth, held at youth centers located all across the states. 574 were reoriented through various educational programs, workshops, seminars, and activities on issues such as leadership skills, HIV and AIDS, career development, teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, and communicable diseases. You can see in the slide some of the pictures to substantiate this. In the year 2014 International Youth Day, the year 2014 International Youth Day was commemorated in collaboration with the Strategy for Mentoring Initiative and Leadership, SMILE, with 750 youth selected from 20 local government areas with the theme Mental Health Matters. To complement government's efforts in management and maintenance of youth centers, management committees comprising of stakeholders in the communities were put in place. The ministry reviewed the registration of functional voluntary youth organizations in the state. 50 youth development officers were trained in data collection, utilization, and participatory youth program planning in collaboration with UNFPA. You can also see the pictures for all this. Now, Social Development Directorate. I've listed to you the services, and we start with family social services. As part of our commitment to the provision of social services to the public, we operate through 18 social welfare offices in the state, rendering the following services: settling of family disputes through the family courts, provision of pre-marriage counseling services, encouragement of family values, promotion and reconciliation of family issues, recovery and maintenance of allowance and child support from estranged spouses. We have some data to show the total numbers of cases and the type of cases we dealt with in this table above. And you can see in the year, we dealt with a total number of families through child welfare cases of 2,667 in the different categories you can see in the slide provided. Correctional and elderly care services. These are responsible for children and senior citizens in need of care, reformation, correction, and resocialization towards reintegration in the society. We have a couple of institutions. One, the Correctional Center for Junior Boys in Birel, Sabo Yaba. This is for resocialization and reintegration of orphans and vulnerable children between the ages of 10 and 14 years. And these words are usually referred by the family courts. At present, we have 27 in that institution. Two, we have Special Correctional Center for Boys in Oregon that provides temporary shelter for orphans and vulnerable children in conflict with the law within the ages of 10 and 17 years. These wards also undergo vocational training. At present, we have 120 wards in this institution. We have Special Correctional Center for Girls in Idiaraba, which also provides temporary shelter for orphans and vulnerable children in conflict with the law within the ages of 10 and 17 years. We also have Correctional Center for Girls, Idiaraba. That's the Center for Resocialization and Reintegration of Orphans and Vulnerable Children between the ages of 10 and 17 years. We have 30. Then we have Children's Center in Idiaraba also, which is a transit home that provides shelter, care and protection for abandoned orphans and children between the ages of 5 and 11 years. We have Rehabilitation and Correctional Center for Senior Boys, Isheri, that caters for orphans and vulnerable children who undergo corrective training, mostly referred from Special Correctional Center for Boys in Oregon between the ages of 14 and 17 years. We have K. Olubukola Fowe Memorial Home at Okera in Ogba. This center was donated to the state government and serves as an emergency protection center and a transit center for babies and vulnerable children in need of care and shelter between a day old and 5 years. At the moment, we have 25 children there. Of course, the one that we all know, the Old People's Home in Yaba, that is the only government home that caters for elderly citizens above 65 years of age. At the moment, we have 44. So in total, we have 432 people that we cater for. The correctional centers and elderly care services, during the period review, we had 5 wards from the Correctional Center for Girls Idiaraba and 1 from Correctional Center Senior Boys Isheri that sat for the November-December GC examination. 18 wards from Correctional Center for Boys Oregon and 7 from Special Approved School Idiaraba passed the 2014 Lagos State Examination Board Placement Test into secondary schools. 7 wards sat for the year 2015 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, and their scores range between 195 and 255. 36 wards participated in final auditioning of a talent TV reality show tagged Take It Back, organized by Human Rights Foundation. The Correctional and Excellence Center Services, Public-Private Partnership. The Risk Management Group of Fidelity Bank, PLC, upgraded and handed over videography and screen preaching workshops with state-of-the-art equipment to Special Correctional Center for Boys at Oregon. Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company and its co-ventures, Nigeria Ajib Oil Company Limited and Total E&P Nigeria Limited, handed over a 5 million check for the renovation of the stack quarters in the Old People's Home. Faith Foundation renovated the left wing of the Old People's Home in Yaba, and Nino Foundation refurbished the dining hall of the Special Correctional Center for Boys in Oregon. A Toyota Corolla 2006 model, Tokumbo, you can call it new, was donated to the Old People's Home by a Mr. Yomi Aji Shola. I think it needs mentioning. And a Ford Ecoline 2001 bus was donated to the Correctional Center for Junior Boys by Lamata. Now that the one we know much about, adoption and fostering services. Adoption is a process whereby suitable persons, by legal means, acquire parental claim over certain categories of children with or without blood relationship. It could either be local and international. While fostering is the placement of children in need of care and protection in the hands of fit persons by means of fostering order. During the period under review, 111 applications were cleared for adoption. You can see on the table total that were legalized and so on. As for international adoption, we currently relate with the following countries: Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Italy, Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, United Kingdom, and United States of America. And we have partnership agreements with the following agencies: AC International of Denmark, Adoption Centrum of Sweden, the American High Commission, the British High Commission, the Canadian High Commission, Enzo B of Italy, Familias de Colores of Spain, Foundation Child and Future in the Netherlands, Lumière des Enfants, France, Sorires des Enfants, Belgium, and of course the State Security Service. The next table, you can see the number of abandoned babies that were rescued, having a total of 28. Medical social services. This division operates in all the 26 general hospitals and health centers, the maternal and child care centers, accident and emergency center at the toll gate. It coordinates the activities of the medical social services within the hospital by 1. Counseling patients and their relations; 2. Assisting indigent, destitute patients to obtain necessary medical services; 3. Assisting patients, particularly road traffic accident victims and abandoned patients, to link up with their relations; 4. Aftercare service to patients; 5. Assisting with patients' placements in social welfare homes relevant to their needs; and 6. Taking patients on home tracing, screening of patients via the mass media. In the period under review, we had a total of 37,333 patients that were catered for. School social services. The School Social Services Unit brings unique professional knowledge, skill, and perspective to the school system and enhance the academic mission by providing services which strengthen home, school, and the community. The unit addresses the barrier within the child, the home, school, and the community that interferes with the student's achievement. It operates from the 6 educational districts and from SUBEB. The School Social Service is also responsible for the following: identifying, managing, and adjusting bad behavior among students as a result of negative influence from peer group; modifying the behavioral attitudes of delinquent students in schools; offering counseling services to students arising from dysfunctional family values. Also, in the period under review, we had a total of 20,367 cases. Of note is that if you look at the table, abscondment and teenage pregnancies, we had 6,470. And also on sex education and sexual abuse, 7,464. So you can have an idea the direction of most of the devices that we have in the schools. The Human Community Integration Services. The community/human integration is the process whereby physically challenged people, destitute, indigent, and vulnerable people with other social problems are assisted to have the support and necessary service to remain relevant in the community. The unit renders aftercare services to graduates of the various homes, rehabilitation centers, and homes of locally adopted children for evaluation purposes. During the period, 391 homes and workshops of wards, rehabilitees, and locally adopted babies were visited. You can also see from the tables those who were discharged from rehabilitation centers, 108, and those wards released from correctional homes, 244. I hope you understand this. When the wards have been trained and empowered and they are led, we don't just leave them and forget them. This unit will also monitor them and see that they are progressing in life, they are making use of the tools, and they are properly integrated into the society. It is noteworthy that 95 discharged rehabilitees and 232 released wards have been fully integrated with their families and into their communities, while locally adopted children have settled down with their new parents. The Rehabilitation Directorate. Rehabilitation is the restoration of a person with any form of disability to the fullest physical, mental, psychological, social, vocational, and economic usefulness of which that individual is capable. The main operational areas of rehabilitations are rescue and reformatory. If you look at the table, you see that the total number of rescued from the streets of Lagos by the rescue unit in the period recorded 940. And you see the activities, cases that were referred to the task force unit or police for prosecution, 37. Number of those released to their relations with the intent of taking them back to their states of origin, 910. Number of cases referred by the rescue unit to the child protection unit for further social investigation, 12. Number of cases referred by the rescue unit to Special Correctional Center, Oregun, 34. Number undergoing rehabilitation and training at the Rehabilitation and Vocational Training Center, Isheri, 53. Number of rehabilitees undergoing training and vocational rehabilitation center for persons with disabilities at Owutu Ikorodu, 75. And the number of rehabilitees at the Rehabilitation and Training Center, Majidu Ikorodu, 1,486. The total number of complaints received and promptly responded to by the rescue unit is 115. Interestingly, I hope they show the picture. 2 rehabilitated wards of the vocational training center for persons with disabilities, Owutu, Simbiat Abiola, and Dari Akinyemi, got married on the 14th of September 2014 at the center. You can see from the pictures. Then we have the Lagos State Office of Disability Affairs. Do you want to read that? So permit me to allow the General Manager to read that for you, Dr. Babatunde Awelenge.
Affairs was established in year 2012 to safeguard people living with disabilities against all forms of discrimination and equalize their opportunities in all aspects of living in the society. During the period under review, low artificial limbs were distributed to 50 physically challenged persons at General Hospital Mushin in collaboration with Rotary International District 9110. A stakeholder forum was held to discuss the disability-related issue and sensitize the populace about the provisions of the Lagos State Federal People's Law. A sign language training workshop aimed at integrating the people with hearing impairment and deafness were showcased in order to integrate them into the society. Because the only problem faced by the hearing impaired and the people living with deafness is communication barriers. So by reducing or eliminating the communication barrier, we are indirectly integrating them into the society, thereby fostering the principle of mainstream principle. An annual disability exhibition called Disability Expo was introduced to showcase goods and services of people living with disabilities. The products and services of people living with disability were exposed to the public for patronage. Hence, the people living with disability are made economically viable. The International Day of Persons Living with Disability, as set aside by the United Nations General Assembly, was celebrated precisely on the 3rd of December 2014 with two Nollywood actresses, Rita Dominic and Yabojo, in attendance. Each of them donated a check of 50,000 each to the first three winners of the Talent Hunt Show. The registration exercise of people living with disability was done in collaboration with the Lagos State Resident Registration Agency, LASRA. This will allow the Lagos State government to formulate and implement disability-related policies. Thank you.
Press, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, permit me to read out our hotlines for your consumption. For rescue of beggars and destitute, 080 97 22 66 96. I repeat, for rescue of beggars, 080 97 22 66 96. For abandoned babies and child abuse, the hotline 080 96 777 389. I repeat, 080 96 777 389. In the Office of Youth and Social Development, we serve humanity. Thank you. Permit me to invite the Permanent Secretary, Office of Sports, Mr. Sewedo Oluseyi Wenu.
Good morning. As the last speaker said, the Office of Youth, the Office of Sports is one of the offices under the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Social Development. This office handles mainly sports and other related activities in the state at all levels. As said earlier, The office operates through the underlisted parastatals/agencies, the Lagos State Sports Council, the Lagos State Sports Endowment Fund, and the Grassroots Sports Development Office. Here, our own approach will be a little bit different. What I'm to do here is to just kickstart. Then I will call on the CEOs of those agencies working with the office to come and give the scorecard in the last 1 year what they have done. As a general overview, the activities of the office impacts on other sectorial areas, such as education through school sports, health through sports medicine, works and infrastructure through infrastructures and facilities, and justice through legal determination and disability law. The present arrangement is such that while the office formulates policies and plays the supervisory role, the parastatals/agencies function as the implementing organs. In the last 1 year, the Office of Sports has continued to encourage private sector participation, and over the months, driven to make Lagos State the hub of international sports tournaments in Africa. By inviting players from all across the world, as will be shown in subsequent slides to be presented by the various CEOs, we have increased in no small measure the revenue generated by the state, and in particular kick-started sports tourism. I also want us to note that by mounting the various programs, we have variously impacted in the lives of the athletes, the coaches, the umpires, the roadside pure water sellers, the bully sellers, and what have you. When you talk of economies of sport, you see that it's only that you drive the energy of athletes out of the street, you also, one way or the other, impact into their lives economically. The other achievement of the Office of Sports in the last 1 year is the provision of gym equipment. Here, I'm bold to say that our state-of-art sporting equipment, covering a wide range of sports, are second to none. I'm happy to report that we have the best gymnastic equipment in Africa. And by the provision of this equipment, we have motivated in no small measure our athletes, because from time to time, we make them to be fit and be ready to perform. The Campus Square Mini Stadium and Unicon Stadium presently enjoy 24 hours power supply from the State Independent Power Project, thereby allowing sporting activities till as late as necessary, thus availing Lagosians the avenue for relaxation and recreation after the day's work. This has also increased sponsorship and other opportunities for sports development in the state. Presently, the Office of Sports maintains the underlisted sports facilities, the Teslim Balogun Stadium, the Campus Mini Stadium, Unicon Stadium, Agege Stadium, Elegbata Playground, the Amuto Playground, the Euro Park Sports Center, the Sherry Swimming Pool, the Ijede Mini Stadium, Jalisco Sports Center, Orile Koka Sports Center, and the Teslim Hostel. Some of these facilities were either newly built, or upgraded when the state hosted the 18th National Sports Festival in 2012. It is heartening to report here that the government, through the Office of Sports, has not relented in making the facilities to function optimally. The Office of Sports has built an excellent working relationship with the private sector that has resulted into mutually benefit partnership. Some of our corporate partners include, but not limited to, the following: the Access Bank, Adidas, Arrowhead, Cadbury, and a host of them. These, our corporate partners, provided finance in some cases, products, gifts, and award to athletes, provision of sporting equipment and kits, as the case may require. I'm also happy to report that in the course of the year, some of the state sports administrators were elected into various offices. This shows competence on our part. This shows competence on our part that our sports administrators are up and doing. The Honorable Commissioner, Mr. Wahid Enito Oshodi, is currently the President of Nigeria Table Tennis Federation. Mr. Babatunde Fatai Williams is the Chairman, Lagos State Sports Technical Committee, and is presently the President, Nigeria Aquatic Federation, and the second Vice President, Nigeria Olympic Committee. Mr. Sheyi Akinwumi is the Chairman, Lagos State Football Association. He doubles currently as the first Vice President of Nigeria Football Federation. Mr. Tade